Sweet. Hey everyone, we're doing the wait for the grandma thing again. She's getting her leg checked, and I'm waiting again. So I thought I would just come on here and chat with everyone. Hi Renee, and you're number one. Yes, you are. Yes. Like my new shirt. Ooh. It's the haunted hamburger. Yeah. Hi, Lisa and Bobby. Yeah, so Grandma's got to get her leg checked again. And I thought, what a good time to come on and chat. Hey, James, Cold Warrior, woohoo, yeah. Hummingbird. Yeah, so did you guys check out the show last night? It was pretty good. Had a lot of fun. I really did. It was really a good time. I've been watching all their shows anyways, and tonight's Ron Moorhead. I'll be tuned into that for sure. We interviewed him probably 3 times. He's a really good guy, and he has a different kind of take on Bigfoot. So it'll be interesting tonight. I'm right across from the surgical hospital. And in fact, I'm looking at the garbage cans from this direction, the Fresno Surgical Hospital. There's actually somebody out there tossing bags right now in the garbage. Hi, Connie and Randy, I think that was before it disappeared. Leather vest, don't cut in it. SF, it's cold. It's not cold. Too bad. I mean, I got my, it's got the sleeves, so I'm feeling pretty warm. Oh, thank you, Connie. Yeah, today is our 42nd anniversary. That's married. We've been together really 45 years. We were together in high school for about 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, something like that. It's hard to remember. It was a long time ago. Thank you. Rate your pain. What's up, my man? Hey, you need to check out a show I did on BZ's Bobcat Saloon. We talked about RSD CRPS for about an hour and a half. It was great. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Killed by Bigfoot. Hi, Hummingbird. Thank you. Thank you. It's kind of a trip to say 42 years married. I remember when it was in the 30-year thing, 30s years. And hi, Lou. It was really, I thought 30 years was a long time, but 42, I could see 50 coming up. As long as I'm still alive, I'll probably go before her. Dumpster diving, yeah. I don't see any Bigfoots over here, but definitely they got a lot of garbage going out. Oops. That one hit the ground. Yeah, that was a fun show. Out of that one, I got 2 more to go on. The guy that was interviewing me, and also Daniela. I'll be on her show also. I don't know what days yet. We haven't figured out a plan of what days. They asked me to talk about Africa. I could talk about Africa for hours, and I knew that wasn't too cool. Yeah, the subs, they go up and down though, bro. Like 1 minute I'll have 8,500, and the next minute I got 8,100. Yeah, the show is kind of a trip. I think it's because everybody has their different belief on Bigfoot. Some people they embrace the woo, like Ron. Wow, really? I have that many? Gee, I think it was only 140 last night, or 142 or something like that. But yeah, some people they when you start talking about the real paranormal aspect of Bigfoot, they tune out. They can't handle it. They don't want to hear it. That I used to be that way until I started experiencing it for myself. And I mean, I would listen to the people's stories, and I wasn't rude to them or anything. A lot of people are rude when you start talking about that. Hi, Adolf and Brown Dwarf. But I don't think it's cool to be rude. Yeah, man, 9-inch lips and like I think it was like a 5 or 6 inch nose. It probably isn't that wide, but when he stuck it on there, it squished the nose, so it made it wider because it was sticking its face up there. In fact, speaking of those lips on the window, let's see. Oh, it went so fast, I missed it. Speaking of those lips, our guy, the CSI guy that collected the evidence, he he didn't believe in Bigfoot. He didn't believe in Bigfoot. So when he would go with us, but nothing ever. He always wrote everything off that was going around as not Bigfoot. Things come flying at the tent and stuff like that, and he's like, "Oh, it fell out of the tree." Even though we're not near a tree, he just couldn't wrap his mind around it. But then the windows and those lips, and he took pictures of it. He swabbed everything for the DNA. And when he got home that night, he was going over his pictures that he took, and he really keyed in on those lips. And you know how you have little lines in your lips, the little lines inside your lips. He really focused on that, and the next day he called me and Jeff to a meeting and sat us down and said, I don't believe in Bigfoot, but now I believe in Bigfoot. And we're like, why do you believe in Bigfoot? Why? And he said that, you guys could hoax a lot of things if you wanted to, but there's no way you hoax the lips. You guys are dumb guys. You wouldn't be smart enough to make the lips have the little lines in it, like the lips have. And then he compared, I guess he stayed up almost all night, but he compared every known animal in the forest to what he found, the nose, the lips, everything. And he was comparing them, and he put a mountain lion, and it matched on one thing but not another thing. A bear, it matched on one thing, not another thing. All these other little animals, they didn't match. Some didn't match at all. And then he thought, okay, what is the thing that I'm looking at that would match that? And he thought it was a gorilla. So he took a gorilla picture off the internet, put it side by side, and guess what? 100% match to a gorilla. And then he says to himself, there's no gorillas in the mountains. Not even escaped ones. There's no reports of escaped ones. He's a cop. He went back through the records. There's no reports of escaped gorillas ever. There's no missing gorillas. They're all accounted for. So he believes in Bigfoot just from that. So that was an interesting thing. I've been doing pretty good, Bolt Gun. How are you, man? Yeah, in the Central Valley. There's some over by you, too. Over in San Jose. You know where Felton is, the Bigfoot Museum? Go in there and talk to Mike Rugg. He's the owner of it. And he'll tell you where to go look if you want to find some over there in your area. Yeah, I think so too, Bolt Gun. I think so. Nephilim. Only because of all the supernatural stuff. It has to be something like that, Yeah, the missing link, I guess, huh? Yeah, Mike's cool. I don't know if he remembers me. We've been over there several times, help him raise money for his museum. I'm sure he'll probably remember me. Just say Paranormal Central, and he'll remember. He's getting on his years, you know. Yeah, gorilla, huh? But that's what they look like. I have a video on my channel of one sitting down with its back to me, and I think it's holding a baby. I'm almost positive it's holding a baby. But once the camera got pulled out, it sat down and hunched over and froze. And the guy running the camera, David Ragosa, he zoomed in on it, and then the battery died. Go figure. But it looks like a gorilla. It really does. From the back, it looks like a gorilla from the back. But yeah, the Bigfoots, they're out and about, man. They're getting closer and closer. Yeah, that's right. When he was a kid, he saw Bigfoot. Oh, here's the garbage truck. No wonder they were putting the garbage out so fast, you know. Here comes the truck. It's going to make a lot of noise here in a second, I have a feeling. Maybe I can roll the window out. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Not so bad, huh? Yeah. Yeah, he gave me my first. He made a casting of Patty's foot. He has the original, one of the original castings of the Patterson Gimlin Bigfoot, and he was making some copies with sand. He made a sand, these little sand boxes, you know, out of 2x4s, and he filled them with sand and then leveled them out, and then we pushed the foot into the sand, and it would make a perfect cast, or you know, or mold of the footprint. And the very first one he made, he gave to me, and I wanted him to sign it, but he was like, no, you know. But he made, I don't know, 20 of them, and he was selling them out there. Cool. I wasn't sure if he remembered or not. I know we brought a bunch of hot dogs and all kinds of stuff, you know, to sell over, and everything that we did, we gave him all the money. Isn't it amazing, man? When I was a kid, garbage men rode on the back of the truck, and the thing that grabbed the garbage cans was on the back. Now it takes that big old thing all the way up. It's pretty trippy. Yeah, when I lived in the hills, so did I. We had what do you call it? It was a transfer station, I think. It was a dump, and then you know, the politically correct people came along, tree huggers, and they said, you know, you can't have a dump here. So then they put these big 40-foot open trailers, and we would dump them in there, and I guess they would pull them out every time they were full, and they transferred it to another dump. I mean, it went to a dump one way or the other, but that was a transfer station. Can't dump in the mountains, you know. I remember back in the day they used to deliver milk, and at first it was in bottles, and then they graduated up to cartons, and you could order, you know, a little crate of milk, half-gallon milks in the carton. And I had a little BB gun, and I would lay down. I would just open the front door and lay down on the step right in the front door, and I would shoot like that far from the bottom of the carton and make little holes in it and drain the milk out. I did that till I got busted. And then I had to work for probably a couple of months, mowing lawns and stuff like that, to pay everybody back for all the milk cartons I shot up. And Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, though. I had a great time doing that. Sounds like fun to me. I'm ready. It's gonna be snowy and cold, man. It's pretty cold up there. I don't think it's real, Renee. I don't think there's a Bigfoot and a gorilla fighting. I don't think so. Not unless Bigfoot broke in the zoo or something. I've seen somebody got to get going. This thing only stays on for like 2 seconds. I used to be able to speed read, but I'm not that good at it anymore. I can catch most of them. See you, man. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. Lost Lake, that sounds like fun. Later, man. Take it easy. Yeah, that sounds like fun. My money's on the Bigfoot on any fight, unless it's an elephant. Elephant might win. I would like to see a great white shark and an elephant. Or, I mean, a great white shark and a Bigfoot go at it at the beach, you know. Have that Bigfoot swimming around and see what he can do against a great white. That would be interesting. I think a crocodile or alligator, it doesn't have a chance. But my money's on Bigfoot on anything. Even 20 guys against one Bigfoot. Even maybe 50 guys against one Bigfoot. I don't think we can move fast enough. The thing would just be popping heads off, ripping arms and legs off, beating people with arms and legs and body parts and stuff. Donnell Vista Point. And I haven't heard of that. Is that something? Where is that? This Donnell Vista Point thing. Is that somewhere by me? Donnell Vista Point? A spooky place, huh? Is it far? I wouldn't mind checking it out. Oh, BZ's messaging me. I'll have to message him back in a minute. I gotta call my doctor here after I get done here. It's time for a visit to the doctor, just the regular usual. It's closed. And I didn't watch the Hunters documentary. I don't get that channel, and I was gonna watch it on Amazon. And I need some air. It's a little bit warm. It got cold last night, but it's nice. I think it's like 60 right now. Hi, AC. What are you up to? Pyramid Lake. I think Pyramid Lake, isn't that by LA? I think that's where all the water that comes out of the mountains here, I think they ship it down there and fill up Pyramid Lake, and that's where LA gets all their water, I think. I might be wrong. Oh, there's one in Nevada too. I had no idea about that. Had no idea. Yeah, but I had a lot of fun on the show last night. They were asking good questions. The guys that shine their light at the flashlight. Their flashlight at the UFO. You might ask Adolf about that one. I'm going to have Adolf on the show, and we'll have to sit and talk about that one day. Just it'll be a Adolf and me and Adolf chat. That talk about what happens when you flash UFOs with a flashlight and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Maybe we could do it. We'll record one. We'll be up wherever we go this weekend, and I'll record it. and then come back and load it up so everybody could see it. Well, maybe we could do it. Maybe we could do all of us, Cryptid and Adolf and me and whoever else goes with us, and we'll just set the camera up and talk about things, experiences, and stuff like that. Because I think that would be interesting, really interesting. Cool. That sounds good. Maybe we could use your camera too, and get different angles, something like that. Just turn them on record and just let it go. And later on, I could edit the different angles. Like maybe we could have one do a tight shot and another one on a wide shot, something like that. That sounds like fun. I think I could even set up a cell phone and do the same thing. There's more garbage, man. Lots more. Different person, too. They just emptied that bin. That guy just filled it back up. Yeah, I will hook up with Brent. Hey, Sword Point. I'm gonna hook up with him. We just traded information last night after the show, so I'll do something with him. Hey, Jesus. The Mount St. Helens. I want to go to Mount St. Helens and look around. I watched that one blow up. I actually have some of the stuff that came down in the town I was in. We had about 3 inches of it's ash. 3 inches of ash. I had two big plastic I had 2 big plastic mayonnaise jars full of ash. And one day I came home from work and 2 of my kids were sitting there playing in the mud, and they had those jars of ash, and I was like, oh no, I jumped out of the car and ran over there, and I now I have a little bottle about this big around, and it has that much in it. And that's all I have left of the ash from Mount St. Helens. But at least I still have some. I almost didn't have any. And I was pretty sad about that. And this guy, with all the oxygen tanks over there. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Let's do it. If you guys are down, I'm down. There's been some Bigfoot sightings over at Millerton. I've got a couple of them in the last 3 weeks. You think it would blind them? Everybody's looking at me funny because I have my phone stuck in the dashboard. And, I got one of those tripods that you can just, wrap the legs around stuff. And I have it sitting up on the dashboard. Everybody walking by is staring at me. I'll tell them I'm watching a movie. That's what I'm doing. The lady next to me keeps looking at me. They better get used to us tubers, They got to get used to us tubers. We're everywhere, We were extinct one time, but not anymore. We're replicating everywhere. You'll see us in the malls. You'll see us at the lake. You'll see us parked in the parking lots. YouTubing. It's pretty funny. I want to give that. What did you guys think? What do you guys think of that? What do you think of that one, the software they were using last night? I can't remember the name of it. I never seen that before. I had no idea what they were using. And it seems pretty cool because you don't have to have the software on your computer. It's actually a browser software. And you can invite, it's almost like Skype, I guess, but it's totally customizable. Yeah, StreamYard. What do you think about that StreamYard thing? I might give it a try. Does it work on your phone? Like I have a bunch of questions. I'm gonna go home tonight. I'm gonna look that stuff up because I might try it out. If it works better than OBS, I'll use that instead of OBS. I just want to know, can I share things? Like on OBS, I can share. In fact, I've been wanting to get on, and I have a lot to share lately. A lot of different pictures and things sent to me. In fact, I got a picture last night. I can't reveal the name of the person, but I want you guys to pray for this person. She had a Bigfoot sighting a couple of years ago, and she really got involved with the Bigfoot and doing a lot of things, traveling around. And you guys know her name, but I can't tell you who it is. Yeah, yep, that's right. We need to go there, Adolf. But this now she lives in a little town in the mountains in Southern California, and now she's being attacked by Bigfoot and Dogman in her house. And I wasn't sure what to think of it, and she showed me two prints she took pictures of in her house. One of them was in the carpet, and the carpet was totally squished down. It was probably a 13-inch, 14-inch track. You could see the toes and everything in the carpet. And then it walked through her laundromat, I think it was, and coming in from outside, and there was snow outside, so it was wet, and you can see the print right on the tile of her laundry room. But she's being attacked. She's been put in the hospital by the dogman. The dogman put her in the hospital. This is what she says. And she thinks now they're not what they claim to be. They're mean. They're doing terrible things to her. Their mind speaking to her. She thinks she's going crazy. She can't work. She's losing her job because she can't get to her job. So everybody pray for her. And I can't give the name. It's just an unnamed prayer. But pray those Bigfoots leave her alone. Yeah, that's what I said too. And see, I already know they are, there's more to them than what everyone thinks. And the ones that don't go for the woo stuff, they need to really open their mind and read some stories, because demons or Nephilim or whatever you want to call them, these multidimensional beings, they have to have permission. And if you don't give them permission, they can't mess with you. But if you open yourself up to anything, witchcraft, voodoo, anything like that, and you're inviting it or going along with it, that's exactly, and they may give you little powers, or you may be able to see the future a little bit, or things like that other people don't have. And you'll like it so much that you'll allow them around you and in your house. And maybe they might not attack you, but they'll haunt your kids. They'll, your husband or wife. They'll start causing strife in your home, anger, more fighting. People can't see eye to eye. I mean, those kinds of things will start happening in your home. Discontent. And it's from them, but everybody doesn't associate it with them, so they never target them and kick them out. And if you one day realize that what it is, or you think it could be that, or you just want to try, if you're having that problem and you want to try to solve the problem, and you decide to target them and evict them from your property and don't allow them back, but you evict them, take away their right to be there because you have the authority to, it's your house. Just like kicking a burglar out or some unwanted person, you can kick them out too. Try it one day. If anything's going on in your life, try it. And spirits could be anything. They could be anger, rage, jealousy, uh, all those things. Anything that's negative. You could actually name the name of what you think it is. There's one like back talking. Or talking behind your back. I can't remember what the name is for that one, but it's all a spirit. And you could kick it out of your life, and you'll notice a change inside of your house immediately. Yeah, she did, cryptid. Yeah. I'll tell you about it in person. I can't say it over the thing. Jesus is the most powerful. His name makes these things run. They cannot handle. I mean, you could just say his name and keep saying it, and they'll leave for the moment while you're saying it, but they'll come back if you don't tell them that they can't come back. If you don't set the rules on them, they'll come back. So don't set the rules, evict them permanently from property line to property line, and don't let them come back. It is his name, his actual name, that does it. It's his name. Last night, I could have gone into a lot more detail on that, talking about Africa, because that's where I learned a lot of this stuff. I mean, I didn't know all about it. I wasn't some scholar after Africa, but the things that happened in Africa is where I learned these concepts that I didn't understand. But that was like 1986. And over the years since then, I started researching these concepts, these what I thought were concepts. They're not concepts, they're laws of the universe. He is the king of the universe, the creator of all things. His name is above all names, all names. And we're created in his image. So we are allowed, if you accept that he is the king of the universe and your creator, you have the right to use his name. He told us that we could. And if you have faith that when you say that name, that he's the king of the universe above all the names, every name, everything, even universal laws, he can like stop the earth or stop the sun from moving. I mean, it can do anything. You just have to believe it enough. There was one time when I was learning how to do this. One of my teachers went blind. She wasn't blind at first, and she was my teacher. And a few years later, her tear ducts dried up. And back in the 70s, they couldn't do anything about it. So she wound up, her eyes dried up like raisins, and she lost her eyes, both eyes. And she was blind for a long time, and everybody knew it. And one day, I was led to go pray for her eyes, and I asked her if she believed that Jesus heals today, and she said yes. And then I said, in the name of Jesus, be healed. That's all I said. That's it. And I put my hand on her top of her head and said, in the name of Jesus, be healed. Within a minute or so, there was tears running out from under. She had patches on because it was really ugly. So she wore patches to hide how ugly her eyes looked without eyeballs in it. Within a minute or so, there was tears coming out of her eyes, and she couldn't cry because she didn't have tear ducts, but she was crying. And then I told her, and she could feel the tears, and I told her to take off those things covering her eyes. And when she took them off and opened her eyes, you could see there was no eyeballs yet. There was no eyeballs. And we watched as 2 eyeballs grew back in her head. Beautiful blue eyes. Within 3 minutes, she had beautiful blue eyes. And she didn't wear glasses. She had 20/20 vision after that. She was probably 72 years old when this happened. And she lost her sight when she was in her late 50s. And she wore glasses for years. I guess all her life she wore glasses. I never knew her not wearing glasses until she went blind. Then she was wearing those things over her eyes. But after that, she had 20/20 vision, the most beautiful blue eyes. Her name was Alice Ragland. I'll never forget. And I have a ton of stories like that. Also stories where I've kicked demons that were in people out of my house, and I was in the other room when I did it. They didn't even hear what I said. The people were in the middle of a big, huge argument fight in the other room, and I had enough of it in my house, and I really low, in a low voice, kicked them out, and in using Jesus' name. And within seconds, they ran out the door and they ran off my property, and then they just paced back and forth at the edge of my property, yelling at everybody. Yelling, come out here and fight me. Come out here, you cowards, and stuff like that. And everybody just stood there and looked at them like, what? It's not really religion. Religion, even Jesus didn't like religion. The people that were religious of his day were the ones that hung him on a tree, on a cross. But I don't like to get into it too much, because people make it harder than it is. For some reason, they don't want to accept it. I don't know why. Some people do, some people don't. It's worse than talking about Bigfoot or other things, because people, they have their own belief of what is spiritual or not spiritual, or what's real and not real, and this really upsets people's paradigms. And it used to upset mine. It used to upset mine a lot. I had a really hard time with it, and once I had a few encounters, Jesus encounters, and then died and went on the other side, that was where the clincher was. See, I died and went on the other side, and I realized all that stuff written in that book is true. And I started researching that book, and I found out that the 680 something prophecies about Jesus happened to the letter, all 687 or however many there were, over 600 of them, given over 11 or 1500 year time span, maybe even longer than that, 4,000 years. Over 4,000 years, they were talking about this man that's coming, and then he fulfilled every single one of them to the letter. No other person is 100%. Nobody. No other book is 100%. that's the only one, and nobody's 100% over thousands of years. And a lot of those things that were said for the future, more like for our time, they're coming true too at 100% again. So I mean, it's something to look into. You know, discount all the other stuff and only just study that one, and really do a real deep dive search on the history of it, and what really happened and what really is going on. And it might open your eyes a lot more than just listening to TV shows and what other people say and barely, reading a few pages of it or whatever. That's like Bigfoot research. I don't listen to what other people say about Bigfoot either. I go out there and I find out firsthand what's going on, and I don't let other people's opinions sway what I'm doing. The same on alien research, the same on haunted areas. I read about them, but I don't draw a conclusion until I've done my research on it. And a lot of times it doesn't go along with what the popular thing, it just doesn't. And I try to be, I don't know how you would put it, I try to respect everyone and their beliefs and stuff like that. I don't want to push anything on anyone. I say question everything, do your own research. And I'm not bagging on anyone or what they believe in on anything, whether it be ghosts or their religion or, Bigfoot, what they believe in Bigfoot or anything that, at least they're that far along, you know what I mean? Or at least you've come that far. But none of us know everything, including myself. I just like to research. The Book of Enoch is, I've read it like 7 times. I've read the Bible like 9 times. The Book of Enoch fills in the blanks that the Bible leaves out. A lot of it may not be true. I think it probably is. It's just so far out there, a lot of people can't believe it. But hey, Bigfoot's is far out there too, and a lot of people can't believe it. Aliens, all that stuff. No, people can't hang. They call it myth, legend, whatever they want to call it. But if you read the 2 books together, you'll get a bigger idea of what Nephilim is, the fallen angels. You'll even start realizing aliens aren't really aliens. Really. Hi, Jean Paul. What's up, my brother? In fact, in Enoch, they could be talking about Bigfoot with a hairy guy. I can't remember his name. Comes a big jet or a fighter jet. Yeah, they got a lot of garbage guys, man. There's 2 bins, 2 big trash bins. They already filled them up. How long ago did that garbage guy go by? Does he have to go by like twice a day or something? That's amazing. Let's see. That's right, killed by Bigfoot. You have to go with a total open mind, and you have to be open to changing your opinion. That's the first thing. Like when we go Bigfoot, I'm not set in stone on what to expect or anything like that. I learned when I drew the line, every time I draw the line, every time, and I say, I know, this is it. I know for a fact, this is the way it is, There's nothing else. Right about that time, something will happen and blow my paradigm right out of the water. and leave me sitting there going, what the F just happened? What is going on here? And so I don't draw conclusions and then stand on that conclusion and say, this is it. Now I'm totally open to a lot of different ideals and thoughts on things, and that's how I learn now. I don't say Bigfoot can't do this or can't do that, or he isn't capable of this or that. I don't say aliens are capable. This is the only thing they can do, and that's it. I have no idea still. I don't. Yeah, oh man, the government makes me mad, actually. I think they have answers to a lot of questions. Um, Something that really bothers me about the government, most of the government are Satan worshipers. This is all going to come out real soon. They're eating babies, they're drinking their blood for the adrenochrome. I've known this for 10 years. I've been researching this for a long time. This isn't something that's new. This goes all the way back to Egyptian days. I mean, these things that they're doing, the rituals and eating the babies, this is not new. They've been doing this forever. Hollywood and the government, they're trying to make it mainstream. Changing people's genders, all this stuff. It is not new. It is not new at all. There's nothing new under the sun. It's all really ancient, really. So, but only now it's all going to come out, and that's why they hate Trump. Even though I'm not sure I like Trump so much either. As a man, I look at it this way. For Trump, okay, I have rats in my house. Okay, I have rats, rodents, and cockroaches, but I only know one guy that can get them out of there. Right. I know there's a lot of guys that can, and I've tried them, but they didn't get the rats out, okay? But I know one guy, he can. I don't really like him. He's smelly. He had 3 wives. He treats his women bad. He has, a giant butt crack, like plumber's butt. He's smelly, but he does one thing good, and that's get the rats out and the cockroaches and the rodents out of my house. That's how I look at Trump. I don't like him so much. He might be not the best guy to hang out with or anything, but he could do one thing really well. He's not bought by these Satan pedophile jerks. They don't own him. He owns himself. He's richer than all of them. He does not need their money, and they are destroying his country that he loves. And I'm behind him because he's getting the rats out. And I can't wait for all the rats to be outed. Believe me, that doesn't mean I like him. That doesn't mean I like him as a person. That doesn't mean I'll hang out with him. It just means he can do the job, and I'm behind him on that. I agree, man. It is the biggest thing, and I'm a kid person. I raised foster kids and my own kids. You know, hey, they're trying to kill him. They want him out of there. They know. I mean, here they are trying to impeach him with nothing. They've been trying to ever since he got in office. Don't you think that if they had one morsel of information on him, they would have already hung him out to dry? They would have already railroaded his butt, tarred and feathered, and sent out a DC so fast, because he's upsetting their apple cart, and he knows that pretty soon they aren't even going to be able to walk down the street. It's almost getting like that for Adam Schiff. I mean, he came back to California, and those people attacked him in his little town hall meeting. It's happening, guys. It's happening. It's going to be sicker than sick when we find out the real truth, though. It's going to be really sick. It's all over the world, my brother. It's all over the world. Watch as the Britons leave Brexit. It's the UN. The UN is that's what they wanted. They wanted a new world order. They wanted to control the whole world. All the people take their guns. You know why they want to take your guns? They want to take your guns because they want to do something that you would shoot them for. That's why they want to take your guns. They don't want anybody to have a gun because they want to do things that you would shoot them for. And they don't want to have a whole bunch of people with guns. They want to do things nasty bad to us. So don't give up. Don't vote for anyone that is going to take your guns. Forget that. If we think Trump is bad, they're 10 times worse. But they're the kind that'll smile in your face, and as soon as you turn around, they're the backstabbers, right? They're the backstabbers. Think of the taxes that we pay. We're taxed upon taxed upon taxed. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Yeah, it's happening all over the world. I mean, look at Hong Kong. Look what's going on in Hong Kong. Look what's going on in France. Look what's going on in Great Britain. Look what's going on in America. It's spreading like crazy. Look what's happening in China. That's all going to come out. All of it's going to come out. All of it's going to come out. I don't even own a gun anymore. When I got hurt by the doctor and put in a wheelchair, I sold everything to live until I got the Social Security. And actually, I ran out of things to sell in the first year, and I had 4 more years to go without an income. And that's another story for another day, where God took care of me for 4 years with no income. I didn't lose my house. I never starved. The power was never shut off. There was food always in the cupboard. And one of the ones that even blows my mind the most, the internet was never shut off. For 4 years, no income, none, never evicted, but that was God. I was trusting God, and He took care of me for 4 years. I should have been on the street living under a bridge in a wheelchair, crawling around on my knees somewhere out there, but that didn't happen. It's an interesting story. My body used to be a lethal weapon. I used to teach self-defense to the police for 9 years. Handcuffing technique, baton class. I was the assistant range master. I could put 5 shots and cover it up with a dime. My dad was even better at a gun than I was. He was a quick draw artist. He held the world's record for how fast you could draw a gun and shoot a target. It was like 0.3 of a second is how fast he could go. But I was raised in all that stuff, man. I was raised doing all that. And I used to have a baton, a PR-24 that's like a tonfa. And I learned with tonfas. That's how I learned everything, learning, kung fu, stuff like that. And when my dad started putting me in these cadet corps for police and stuff like that, and I took the training that I got in self-defense, martial arts, and I applied it to the police training, and then I wound up teaching everybody for 9 years, and it was pretty fun, man. It was pretty fun. Like sometimes I would have a class of 30 people, and here I am, a young kid, 25 years old, and these guys would come walking out there 6'6", and they're looking at me like, you're gonna teach me? And they would not listen to me or anything, and they would just be looking at this little pipsqueak, telling him how he's gonna teach him to do takedowns and stuff like that. And so then I would just call them out. Hey, the big corn-fed dude, looking like you should be a linebacker on an NFL team. Come here, man, and throw a punch at me. And he's like, I don't want to hurt you, little guy, you know. And I'm like, throw a punch at me. And as soon as he threw the punch, he was eating gravel. And not only was he eating gravel, I was on top of him and handcuffing him. And everybody was standing there like, whoa, you know. And then I would turn and tell him, you know, y'all are going to learn this today. And I never had anybody backtalk me after that, man. But I had to start like that. Otherwise, nobody was listening to me. And the big dudes would keep, they're like the mouthpiece, you know. They would be telling everybody, saying things, and then nobody would listen to me. So I had to take out the mouthpiece in order to actually get control of the class. You know, same on the shooting range. You know, everybody thought they knew better. And so I had to, you know, empty a gun into a target, and then we all go out and check the target, and they're like, oh my God, you know, that is some good shooting. None of them I could outshoot anybody out of all the hundreds of people that I had go through my class. I never had anyone that could outshoot me, except for my dad. My dad could outshoot me without even aiming, you know, but it was a fun thing, fun. Just let God have it. Don't worry it. Let God have it and don't worry it. That is the actual secret. Oh man, that was a big long one there. I wanted to see that one. Yeah, it's almost time. I don't know how much time I have left. Yeah, we almost can Google everything. Some things aren't there though. You have to practice. You know, you can't just look at something and say, "Oh, that's how you do it." First time you try it, somebody will twist you up like a freaking pretzel and leave you there, take your weapon from you and beat you with it. You know, you got to practice. You have to practice. There's no such thing as a free lunch when it comes to that, man. No such thing. You know, like if you want to shoot your gun good, if you own a pistol and you want to be able to shoot it real good, shoot at the TV. No ammo in it. Okay? Every night, sit down and shoot 500 rounds. Like you're shooting 500 rounds. Just dry fire it. And do that. And do that every night. And then when one day you'll go out to the range and you will be surprised at how well you can shoot your weapon. And it could be with a rifle or a pistol. It doesn't matter. It's the same with golf. You want to improve your golf game? Go out every night and swing your club 100 times. Pretend like there's a ball there. Clip the grass, swing on a line. Clip the grass, swing on a line. Do that 100 times every night. The next time you hit the golf course, you're going to kick everybody's butt. You're going to be hitting them straight. You know, and just imagine that you're hitting the ball and you see that ball, and I'm serious. Yeah, you could use a pellet gun. It'll work. BB guns. I'll be praying for you too, AC. Dry. It wasn't dry fired. Oh man. Yeah, I know some people that thought they were dry firing and they blew their TV up. You know, shot into their neighbor's apartment. You know, we got to make sure it's empty. Yeah, that would be me. I don't own a gun. I don't own a gun anymore. I never had to use mine either, ever. And I sold them all to live after I was disabled, but I've had many opportunity to buy them, you know, again. I would like to have a 30-06 and stuff like that, and I would like to have a 45 auto, not a big one, a small one, you know, that I can keep on me. And it's mostly because our government's being stupid. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to get old either, but too late. You know, I was just thinking of that this morning, you know, married 42 years. I started dating my wife in high school. I dated her about 3 years, and then she turned 18 and we got married, and we've been together ever since, and it's been interesting. No kidding, Bolt Gun. There's some crazy people, man. They really are. I used to take all my guns in as I would buy them. I would take them to my favorite gunsmith, like with rifles, and they have the free floating barrels. But a lot of times when it comes out of the factory or whatever, whoever makes it, there's a place like a little high spot inside the bed where the barrel goes, and I would have them take that down, so it's actually a free floating barrel and can whip around. And then when you're reloading, a lot of people don't know this, but when you're reloading ammunition, especially for hunting, you want to load different, like say you're going to have a 150 grain bullet and whatever powder you're using, and you start with like a middle of the road recipe, and then you go up or down like tenth of grain up, and you go all the way up till it's like a couple of grains, and you go all the way down a couple of grains, going a tenth or 2/10 of a grain, and you load 5 rounds of each different thing, and then you go to the range and you shoot the 5 rounds, and then you put your rifle down and you let it cool all the way off, because when you shoot your deer or whatever it is, it's going to be a cold barrel, so you want to do your shooting and sighting in on a cold barrel. You don't want to have your barrel all hot. Now if you're going to be shooting your gun at, say, people, and you're going to be in war, you sight your rifle in hot, because you're going to be shooting a lot, and you do these each 5 round, and you keep the targets, and then the one that has the tightest group, then you make 500 rounds of that, and you'll know that you can put a nickel over all 5 rounds or a quarter or whatever it is, and you'll see as you're doing that, it'll go smaller and smaller and smaller, and then it'll come back out like that. And when you find the one that's the smallest, tightest group, that's the one you want, especially for hunting. And I have all of his stuff, Jonathan Kahn. I got all the videos and stuff like that. My mom's in love with that guy, and she bought all his books. I've read all of them, and I read all his stuff. Yeah, no kidding. I trip out every time I fly in a plane, because just imagine, 300 years ago and all the way back down through history. Yeah, you have to trim that. You have to make sure they're all the same. Down through history, everybody was riding horses and stuff, buggies, carriage. Maybe in the last few hundred years, they started with trains. But the plane thing, now you can pay $500, maybe less if you're lucky, and you can be 8 miles high up in an airplane or a jet. These people all down through history only could dream of something like that, seeing that. It would take months for them to cross the ocean or the United States or any other landmass, any other country. Months. And that some people die doing it. They get caught in winter or something. They were stupid when they left, and they didn't think that they would be caught in winter, before they got to their destination. Now you can get anywhere in the world within a day, and usually within a half a day. Oh, there we go. They're here. I got to pull the car out. Man, it was fun chatting with you guys. I'll get in touch with you, Adolf Encrypted. Well, I'll let you know, okay? And we'll see you guys. Pray for the lady I told you about, okay? Everybody pray for her. And I'll be praying for you guys, and I'll see you real soon. They're standing out there waiting for me. Okay.